Oh, I'm sorry about that, people. My scenes were in the wrong order. Oh. Well, welcome everybody anyway.
Peace and respect to you all.
And yes, welcome back to another episode of the Enoch Show. I think that's a wee bit small. Let me see if I can make that a bit bigger for Richard, and hopefully it'll be still fit inside the crop. And yeah, we're trying a new scene tonight. It looks a wee bit better. I was basically just bored, nothing better to do, thought I'd make it a little prettier, but I did have to stretch them ever so slightly. So if Richard looks a wee bit pudgy tonight, it's not because he had a big dinner, it's because the page is stretched. Richard, do you want to say hello and all your bits, and I'll find where we are?
Yes, peace and respect to you all. And thanks for showing up, everybody, especially those who show up regularly and giving input. Really appreciate the input. The critique is very important to me because I want to be able to explain this in understandable ways. And biased as I am, I believe that if it's not understandable, it's because I'm doing a poor job, not because it doesn't make sense. Having Shannon Q on the 17th. For anyone who didn't already know that, really looking forward to that conversation. That was it. That was my bits and bobs.
Yeah. You lucky so-and-so for getting Shannon Q.
She is brilliant, and I think her greatest skill maybe is to be able to point out when someone is just full of, not telling the truth. You know?
Well, that's a good
So I really look forward to that.
Well, hopefully she'll not tell you you're full of shit.
Well, you know, I'm sure we're going to have a reasonable discussion. She's always reasonable, even when someone else isn't.
Yeah, no, very.
And I try to be.
Very level-headed woman. Very intelligent woman as well.
Certainly.
So, any criticisms from last week, Richard, or did you just get lost in the evolution debate?
I did make some citations under the after show, is that what you call them?
Whatever it was.
After party.
Yeah.
I did make some citations under the after party about what we spoke of.
I did see that. Lots and lots and lots of that. I did send you a reply for one video on the differences between eukaryotes and prokaryotes and how chloroplast and mitochondrial DNA and the evidence does show that it has been absorbed, you know, so.
That is true, that is under our present understanding what the evidence shows, yes.
Yes. Well, on that note, Richard, would you like to start? I'm pretty sure I went back and double checked. It was chapter 35 that we started to tangent and go off on the evolution debate. So, if you want to do that, possibly finish up section 5 there, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's pretend that you know what you're doing and I don't. So, yeah, you're going to change that to the red because it's a citation.
No, this is, if you read that, and then section 6 is the next section.
How odd. You could go one size larger, and that would actually help my eyes quite a bit.
It does cut it off in the crop, though. It should be so close. It doesn't look as pretty. It's not in the middle. I'll have to stretch the crop. But that'll be fine for tonight. I'll deal with it not being central, and then I'll pretend it'll annoy me. It's already not annoying me.
It fits. It fits in there. Okay, so back to the text. The portals are, of course, for the setting luminaries, the outlets for the winds, as the latter expression in the west suits only the winds. And 36. The symmetry of the narrative demands that he goes to the south also. Here, as in the north, he sees only portals for the winds, but none for the luminaries. He returns to the east, where he sees the portals for the winds, which he has failed to mention. And above these were smaller portals for the stars. And then some citations.
Yeah, I can't really remember the context of all this perfectly, but I think he's just traveling the world looking about. Illuminaries is obviously the sun and moon.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes. So that should finish up the portals.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. that would finish up the portals.
And then we've got section 37, and then it does that whole descriptive thing that we'll skip over.
Yeah.
So, go on ahead whenever you're ready, Richard.
Thanks, sir. The second vision of wisdom, which Enoch, the son of Jared, the son of Mahalalel, the son of Canaan, the son of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, saw. And this is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I commenced to speak and to relate to those who dwell on the earth. Hear, ancestors, and see, descendants, the holy words which I will speak before the Lord of the spirits. It is proper to name the former first, but from the descendants we will not keep back the beginning of wisdom, and up to the present time there was not given from before the Lord of the spirits the wisdom which I have received according to my knowledge, according to the pleasure of the Lord of spirits, by whom the portion of life everlasting was given to me. 3 parables were given me, and I commenced to relate them to those who dwell on the earth. So really what he's claiming here is that he has new understanding of older things, that it's being revealed to him what these things are about.
The descendants too, he will not keep back the beginning of wisdom. But would you not... There. But from the descendants too, we will not keep back the beginning of wisdom. So is that not... So that's just basically we're going to tell them the parables. We're not going to tell them everything. This Old English is very difficult. Like.
Let me read it again and see if I can understand your mind frame. Oh, well, I think that's speaking of an eventuality that at the end of the earth, everyone will know the truth. Them, the new earth being the descendants, will know the truth. They will not, the beginning of wisdom will not be kept from them, not be kept back from them. Does that make sense?
So up to the present time, there was not given from before. So we're going to give them the knowledge, but not up until it's very Old English and fucking shite. But okay.
It is proper to name the former first. And I see that in all spiritualities, that the angelic reference to the word Genesis would be their ascension into heaven. So when they describe their Genesis, they're talking about becoming.
Right.
Like your Genesis is probably when you were somewhere between 5 and 7 years old and you realized you're a person, not just something attached to mom, but your own individual being. Mm-hmm. Some kids a little younger, some kids a little bit older than that, but generally that's true. And that would be the Genesis.
What they would call oneself, the realization of oneself.
Right. Yeah, the realization of self. Yeah, it would be somewhere in that age frame. But I think that's the same way it's being described to us, that their becoming, or when they became angels, is the truth from long ago to be told to the descendants of the future and not withheld from them at the right time.
Right.
I think that if we did know these things factually and could say, oh, that this is just how it is, that it would actually ruin our experience. And in the idea of not ruining our experience, but us having an honest experience of actual hardship, that has value in our future when it comes to helping others.
Oh yeah, well that's building character and all that sort of stuff. You could go down that route of soul testing and all that crack, but I'm not.
I'm not sure those are the best explanations. I think they touch on something important, but I think they fall short, and I don't think they're necessarily convincing. Obviously.
No, I would agree.
Yeah. So character building, soul building. That sounds great, but the truth of the matter is that I couldn't even know what empathy is if I didn't see pain. Well, even if it's not my pain, you know.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you can't have the good without the bad. That's how you find balance and. Paraphrase and all that. You don't get the light without the dark. That sort of thing. You know, you have to have both.
C.S. Lewis. Yeah.
Is it? What was that
C.S. Lewis expounded on the idea, but yes. Excuse me. Okay. So the first parable. So this is a brand new section, as he was just announcing in the last chapter. That we've had a topic change here, so I want to say significant topic change for those who didn't already notice it. The first parable. When the congregation of the just shall appear, and the sinners are condemned because of their sins, and expelled from the face of the earth. And when the just one shall appear in the presence of the just who are chosen, whose deeds hang on the Lord of the spirits, and the light shall appear to the just and to the chosen, who dwell on the earth, where will be the habitation of the sinners, and where the resting places of those who have denied the Lord of spirits. It were better that they had not been born. And when the secrets of the just shall be revealed, then the sinners will be judged, and the impious will be expelled from the presence of the just and chosen. And from that time, those who hold the earth will not be powerful and exalted, nor will they be able to behold the face of the just. For the light of the Lord of the spirits is seen on the face of the holy and just and chosen. And the mighty kings will perish at that time, and will be given over to the hands of the just and holy. And from that time, no one can ask for mercy from the Lord of spirits, for their lives have ended. Wow, so, that's pretty sudden, yeah.
So the meek will inherit the earth. All the greedy people, all the kings, the powerful who worship and the things on the earth will all die, and only the holy's going to live.
Well, I think it's more specific than that, that what's being, once it gets expounded upon, what's being described as those who cannot come to accept heaven will perish with the earth. And of course, I find that in other spiritual stories as well, that's the eventuality of those who just can't accept the new paradigm, I guess is an okay way to say it.
Yeah, they want to worship down to their alien overlords.
I don't know if that's fair, because...
But that's what they will look at it as. You will obviously look at it from a different point of view, but if they accepted who they were, they would accept it. If you are correct in what they are as a being from another planet, or our descendants, us, yeah. Yes, our ancestors, then right. They are obviously, they're still from another planet. They didn't evolve here. You've agreed with that. That was last week's episode.
Yes.
But the point I'm trying to say is they will see it as alien overlords. They will rebel. They will get their guns and stuff. So I'm not saying... Yeah, well, I would see it as aliens too, but I wouldn't see it as alien overlords. I'd have to see if they come in peace. But... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They would see it as alien overlords.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I have to agree with you that it will be seen that way. In fact, I think on heaven's arrival, the first thing people will be screaming is literally, "Oh my God," and alien invasion.
Well, people shout, "Oh my God," when they hit orgasm. That doesn't mean that God actually enters their body. No, it doesn't. No, I do find the line interesting, though, that it's so popular today. If you really want to be a staunch atheist, I recommend not using the term, or getting out of the habit of using the term "oh my God" as an expression of speech, because there's a catch-22 in religious stories where it says, I will save all who call out to me. So that could be taken literally as calling out to God. I'm just saying. Well, personally, it annoys me whenever somebody sneezes and my girlfriend would say, "Bless you." She's now getting into the habit of saying "excuse me" or "excuse you" or whatever, a different term, because she knows that annoys me.
Yeah.
But that one, "oh my God" and all that there, I would say "Jesus Christ" if I cried my toe or something like that. I don't say "oh my God" that much, but I would say, "For fuck's sake, Jesus Christ, would you sort yourself out?" That phrase would come out of my mouth an awful lot more than "oh my God," but I can see where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, man, it's just a phrase. It's just there. It's been used. It's in our language. It's it's not what it is. It's not the words. It's the meaning of the phrase.
Sure. I think it could be used as a technicality, is what I'm saying. Though it could be interpreted as someone says that, therefore they have literally called out to God. Therefore, God has been given permission to save them.
Well, if God has to help them on a technicality, he's not very, what...
anything that gets them into heaven is fine. Anything at all. Except for lying. But anything short of lying, yeah, that's absolutely.
So, anything, you think God's just going to use any old excuse to get everybody in?
Short of lying?
Sort of like,
Yeah, sure.
That's his point of view, that he will just use a technicality because he wants as many people in as possible. If he wanted as many people in as possible and he's God, he could have just, he can just take whoever he wants.
Well, that would be taking away from a person's rights and wills, and it'd be a disrespect to them.
No, well, obviously they can give them a choice. If they were forced. But this is what I'm saying. Sure. Alien overlords come, right? People say, oh, they're gonna enslave us. You and other people that will eventually agree with you say, no, it's Jesus, we're going to go to heaven. So you instantly go to heaven. And then as a technicality, some person shouted, oh my God, when somebody tried to rob them in the shop because everybody's going crazy. And they instantly go up to heaven.
Oh, no. Well, first of all, it's not described in the text that you just like poof out of existence and into heaven.
So you have to line up.
It's actually, it's physically lined up to be physically measured by physical persons that we would loosely call angels.
Yeah, no, we went through that there, yes, but that's in the place. Yeah. I'm talking about the journey to the place. How do we get to the place? We're going to have to queue up.
Oh, forcibly taken whether you like it or not.
So we're going to be forcibly taken whether we like it or not because...
to some place on the earth to be measured.
And that's the people he has decided are worthy at the start to go to heaven.
Nope, that's everybody. Everybody gets measured.
Okay.
According to the text. Doesn't matter if you're 2 miles underground in a government bunker, you're going.
So there's an army on the ground rounding up people.
Right.
So it's alien overlords taking us against our will at gunpoint, possibly.
No, not at gunpoint. There's nothing about violence or weapons in it. Just physically taken. Yeah.
Yes, but if you tried to take me somewhere, and if you tried to split me up from my wife or my daughter, I'd lose.
Oh, why would they split you up? I can't imagine why they'd split people up, but...
Well, it doesn't say that they don't split people up, and if you're measuring people and they are the personification, they are us, they've obviously got morals and stuff like that, they recognize where we are. You can't even get searched if you're a woman, by a non-woman in the airport. And
by our laws,
By our laws, yes, but not to break things down to as simplified as that, but they will have, right, well, this is a male, this is a woman, this is a child. They're going to have distinction between what we are by certain, they're not going to just lump everybody in.
Well, according to what I can tell in the text, you get sorted by when you were born in the year, or by the signs of the zodiac and or tribes of Israel and or Chinese zodiac, which is all the same thing, but you get sorted that way.
Right.
So that all of the population is in 12 equal parts.
Okay, well then we're definitely not together. Me, my daughter, and my girlfriend.
For that time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you're trying to take me away from the most important things in my life. You're going to have to do it with some sort of force. I ain't going to go happy. And whether it be gunpoint, phaser point, fucking lightsaber point, whatever these aliens have, they're going to forcibly remove me. And if you have a period of time where people are coming in, things, humans, whatever you want to call them, these aliens, these angels that are 8 foot tall, coming down to the earth and randomly corralling people up and taking them away, then the people would be justified to say alien overlords. Nobody.
Yeah.
No. Just
I have to agree with you. That part of it's not very gentle.
If that happened, right, I will guarantee you now. Okay, maybe not guarantee. That's a very wide sweeping word, but nobody is going to believe after they are forcibly removed from their family that this person is God.
I don't know why you'd say that.
They are going to go with alien overlord. If the choice is put before me are alien overlord and God and Jesus, and they have come into all the houses in all the earth and taken and split people up, then that's not a nice thing. You agreed yourself.
Well, it looks to me like, okay, let's look at the situation as I see it described, if what I'm saying is accurate. Okay, so you're 3.5 years into end times. There hasn't been electricity, organization. There hasn't been infrastructure for 3.5 years now.
Yeah, but just to say that goes back to the whole David and Goliath thing, which I don't agree with. I think after 2 or 3 months we're going to be fucked.
Okay, so So what I think people will be doing generally is they'll be with their loved ones.
For the 3.5 years.
Yeah, you would go to where they are.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. Okay, so the world has come to an end. Everybody is going buck mad. It's fucking Mad Max outside. And you're sitting trying to protect your family, your most important people in your life, because the world's turned to shit. If you're a religious person... I think
most people will be doing that, yeah.
Yes, if you're a religious person, you're probably thinking it's the end times and wondering why you haven't been taken up to heaven. You know,
right, why you didn't poof out of existence.
Why you didn't poof out of existence, and they think that they're all going to be left here. Then aliens come. Now, they are aliens, okay? They are... I know your interpretation of what you think that they are.
It's a safe term.
It's a safe thing, yeah, same thing. They are a being from outside this planet coming on a ship and then start rounding people up. What I'm thinking is aliens just waited for an opportunity, then now they can take us over. No fighting, no infrastructure. It's a hell of a lot easier to wipe us out now. It's a hell of a lot easier to round us up and make us slaves. And a lot of people will think that or along that lines. They will not then think, after they've been taken away and measured by an 8-foot being, that this person is now God. They're going to think something along the lines of, shout out to the Daily Atheist, if they'd have done this, what he's suggesting in his book, where they arrive and all the mobile phones in the world say, you know, he's taken a modern interpretation of what the text says, what the people believe the text says.
Sure.
Their mainstream interpretation of what the text says. If they did that, then there would be more chance that people would believe, because it is what it said. It can be interpreted that way. I know you're interpreting it this way, but people are not going to interpret an army of people.
I think you're right.
Streets.
I think you're right up until the point that they're measured and they're given a free will choice as to what they do. I think from the time angels start gathering people together for the judgment until the judgment has been made and they have free will choice, that they will be very, very upset about it. I agree.
So you're hoping that when they all get rounded up like cattle, taken away and measured, poked and prodded like animals.
I don't know not poked and prodded like animals, no. That's nowhere.
That's nowhere, but it doesn't also say that it does not. I'm saying the words wrong. Just because it's not there doesn't mean that they're aliens. They are more technologically advanced than us. They're not just going to come down and measure us from left to right with a tape measure that my ma uses to fucking change jeans and hem jeans with.
You're right. They use a rope.
These aliens that
a non-stretch rope.
Right. Well, do you not think that rope's a representation of something else?
Yeah, it's a non-stretch device for doing a comparative measurement. Also used as a belt.
From our interpretation, as you say, with our interpretation of the laws, you're taking that from your interpretation. It could be a representation of a piece of technology.
I think it's literally a rope because that's all that's needed. I don't think it's a high-tech rope.
Right. Well, can I say something, though? You did say that this is a genetic disposition that makes somebody a Nephilim.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, a hyper-advanced race, to make to definitely be 100% sure that I've got the right person, should I measure their wingspan with a fucking rope, or should I take a piece of their DNA from a piece of their blood, and should I do a genetic test on it? One of them will give me a definitive yes, and the other could be a yes, but we don't know. If we are looking for the genetic marker, let's look for the genetic marker. Let's not measure with a piece of rope.
Well, in all honesty, I'm going way beyond what I can prove, and I'm extrapolating when I say the following. I think the Nephilim are obvious, and that's all you need is a piece of rope.
No, you can't do that. But you may be right in saying... Well, you can, man, but this is a hyper-advanced race. They are going to do...
For all I know, they have some kind of scanner they're simultaneously reading. But,
yes, they are
for all I know, but I can't prove that either way.
I can guarantee you now, a hyper-evolved race that can travel between the stars, that is specifically looking for a genetic marker in a being, will not use a piece of rope, they'll use technology.
I can't argue. I can only talk about what I can see in the text, and that's just not... It's not either confirmed nor denied in the text. So I just don't know.
Okay, well, we'll not confirm or deny, we'll look at probabilities. Do you think that a hyper-evolved being that can travel the stars and be around for thousands of years and live for thousands of years and have cured disease, obviously through technology, traveling through space, through technology, when they come to do a definitive test to decide the life and death of a particular person and whether they're going to go to hell or heaven for the next 5,000, 10,000 or eternity, that they're going to use a piece of rope, or are they going to look for a genetic marker? Because
I might even be stretched to say that I would agree with you that if someone failed that test, they might be further tested.
Stealing from Chris again, who's just given me a red card for being too aggressive towards you. I think that when they say
I don't think so.
I think when they say things in the Bible, it can be a representation of technology. Critical Cripple, back earlier, did ask, have you watched Stargate SG-1? Because a lot of the things in mythology are technology in this show. You know, that's the reference point I'm using.
I'm not familiar enough with that show to say, yes, I know that show.
Well, then you haven't watched it.
I've seen a couple episodes, I think,
but
maybe.
I understand you don't get the premise of the show, and you don't, you know, but that is the
I don't see the big picture of it, no.
No, you don't see the big picture, but in it, there is things that are mythology, like the actual Fountain of Youth. The Fountain of Youth was a healing technology that was hidden at the bottom of a lake, at the bottom of a waterfall, which was in a ziggurat that one of these alien gods used to rule from. And everybody thought he was a god, and he could heal people, bring back from the dead, but it was a healing technology. When the ziggurat fell, it ended up at the bottom of the waterfall, and then its healing powers were given out to the water, and people who drank the water, you know, and it's obviously a show, but there was a basis in technology for the myth. And I think
there's a basis for the technology in that idea set that doesn't require a piece of machinery. But I think that chapter 6, where it says, yet that we are flesh, this is the Bible, yet that we are flesh, our days shall be numbered 120 years. That is not 130. It doesn't say a specific number, just a general number. Which, by the way, is held true for some, 4,000 years or so. But anyway, I think what it's talking about is restricting us genetically, and that's why we die from old age now. Although we were intended to live forever originally, it's a restriction on us. So I think that's a chemical predetermined state of affairs.
Yes, it is in our bodies to die.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can all make a statement in that sense.
So I think that upon our entry into quote-unquote perfection, that is one of the things that's about us that's fixed.
Well, I would say it could be medically
or unbroken.
Helped. Yeah, I would say it could be medically helped rather than unbroken. I don't think that it's a predisposition for our bodies to live for longer than what it... Well, beyond a certain point. Obviously, medical technology can help us, so I think that they would fix us. They would cure us rather than fix what was broken.
I think you're remembering, if I'm remembering right, you're referring to something you'd said before. But I think what you're talking about is the best possible conditions in our present genetic state, which is different from our best possible genetic state.
I think the only distinction I'm trying to make between what you're saying and what I'm saying is that if we were to live forever, it would be a piece of technology that would have to, or a
not
medical...
Not necessarily.
Technology is not just medical or just not metal and a mobile phone and things like that. I'm talking about medical science is also technology, I'm incompetent.
Oh, if you mean like fixing the broken parts of our genome, I would agree with you.
Okay, the only difference I'm trying to make is my interpretation is that we are not predetermined to live forever and something happened that we don't. I think that's what you're saying.
It is what I'm saying.
Right, I disagree with that. That's all I'm saying. I think that we have a limit to our life, and if they do try to extend it, it will be through medical science and technology helping us to overcome it, not your interpretation.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, and it has started from an army invasion to now this. So we have tangent again.
It's reasonable.
I think we have completely covered the parable and give our views of parable from chapter 38. We've waited that long that I have to click my mouse to bring it back on again, the damn cordless.
I like the cordless mouse, though.
Yeah, it makes things an awful lot handier. Right. We definitely covered chapter 38 from top to bottom there.
and about 5 other things. Yeah.
Well, this is why we're here. Everybody is here to find out what your view is, and if anything, Richard, when we get to a certain point in 3 and 4 years, if we're still doing this, you can just say, watch Series 2, Episode 4. That explains my point, and you can go back to sleep again.
I should hope that I never ignore someone so much as I say, go and watch. But anyway,
Okay.
I hope I'm never that busy.
You're going to be famous leading us all. Sorry, I'm being pedantic. I do apologize. I was just going to say you're busy leading us.
You know, I'm not sure what pedantic means.
Slightly annoying, being a wee bit of an asshole towards you.
Oh, okay. I disagree, but at least now I know what the word means.
I didn't mean to be pedantic towards you, as in I was making the inference that you would be the leader of all the humans trying to help and bring the people to God. Because if we were getting rounded up, you were the only person.
If these things are true, I do want people to go to heaven.
Yeah.
I really do. I would do all I could.
Okay, we're tanging it again. We're doing it again. Chapter 39. Look, I've highlighted it and all. Come on.
All right. But you normally highlight the whole thing or down to a stopping point.
Oh, right.
See, now I'm confused because you're not doing the same thing. Okay, great. And it will come to pass in these days that the chosen and holy children will descend from the high heavens. Oh, this is what we were just talking about. And their seed will become one with the children of men. And in those days, Enoch received books of zeal and of anger, and books of disturbance and of expulsion. And mercy will not be upon them, said the Lord of the spirits. And at that time a cloud and a whirlwind seized me from the face of the earth, and carried me to the end of heaven. And here I saw another vision, the dwellings of the just and the resting place of the holy. Man, this is starting to sound, a lot of this sounds like transporter beams and stuff. But anyway, here my eyes saw their dwellings with the angels and the resting places with the holy. And they asked and petitioned and prayed on behalf of the children of men. I thought we were done with the watchers. And justice like water flowed before them, and mercy like dew on the earth. Thus it is among them to all eternity. And in those days my eyes saw the place of the chosen, and of justice, and of the faith, and those of fidelity, and how justice will be in their days, and the just and chosen without number before him to all eternity. And I saw their dwelling under the wings of the Lord of the spirits, and all the just and chosen before him are ornamented as with light of fire, and their mouths are full of blessings, and their lips praise the name of the Lord of spirits, and justice before him will not cease. Here I desired to dwell, and my soul longed for this place. Here my portion has been before, for such an established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. And in those days I blessed and exalted the name of the Lord of spirits with blessings and praise. For he has strengthened me in the blessing and praise according to the will of the Lord of spirits. For a long time my eyes looked at this place, and I blessed him, saying, Bless him, and let him be blessed from the beginning to the eternity.
Right, we'll just
before him there is no ceasing. That's a good place to stop as any, I suppose.
Yeah. It's freaking massively long, that bit. At least we'll have to have it that it'll fit on the screen. We can't critique if it's too big for the screen.
Well, we're not really going over it just word by word anyway.
No.
And maybe that's partly my fault that I see that this is so repetitive in so many places that I look. It all sounds pretty much the same to me at this point.
Well, I don't want to skip. I know there's going to be an awful lot of it, but I don't want. I'm happy to skip the bits that they go over it, and we can do a different bit on that. But you know, regardless of the whole YouTube thing, the fact that it's content and it's something to do. How do you choose what to pick and get rid of? Do I listen to a person that agrees with your statements and pick and choose your list, or do I go and look at my secular, scholarly, and all that and pick and choose a list that they have? And the only way to make a formal opinion is to read the goddamn whole thing. I know it's annoying.
I think the only way to have. Okay, so if it's just a bunch of books written by people compiled together, claim to be God, throw it away.
Pardon?
If that's what it is, throw it away.
What did you?
It's just a bunch of fairy tales. On the other hand, if it's actually the Word of God, then it should be cogent and coherent. It should make sense with itself. So if it has value, it should make sense. So I think the right question to ask myself is, the view that I have, does it make sense everywhere, at least within that one text? And I think that's the right question to ask at all times.
Well,
and if there is no such thing, then it's just a bunch of fairy tales written by people.
Well, would you consider reading an English version then? Because this is not portraying probably what it's supposed to be portrayed, because, it's in a certain type of English, where I could then lean to the people who are best and who can understand this and transition it to English. As you say, it should
this
be
isn't. This is more modern than Middle English.
Fuck. No, but the only point I'm trying to make is, you say it should be cogent and clear.
Right.
It is in the people who read this. It is, but we don't read this. Not day to day, not daily.
No, this is not modern English. I'll grant you that.
And you do not want to read it in modern English.
I don't know that such a translation exists. I think we're reading the most modern translation, aren't we?
No, I went to find the oldest translation in the Ethiopian.
I read a 2002 transliteration of this from the Oxford University, and it was just like this.
Yeah, people just haven't been arsed to do it yet.
Well, if you want it in like actual modern English, or maybe, in like Irish English, then that would be like a real individual task that would have to be done specifically.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Irish English. I don't think there's such a thing as Irish English.
Oh, you definitely speak Irish English.
The only point I'm trying to make is, when you said it should be cogent and clear, it is to the people who read like this. It isn't to us, and it would be more cogent and clear to possibly me and the audience if it was in English.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, that's all I was pointing out. But you say there isn't a translation version of that.
As far as I know, there isn't one to like the Queen's English, the modern Queen's English. If there is such a thing, I'm not even sure.
Well, I have to let the dog out. If you want to give people a wee view of what you think and synopsis of this wee bit, Richard, go on a wee bit more for a couple of minutes. Just to shout out to everybody in the crowd that's turned up. Nerdy's here. We've got Critical. I already give Critical. Don't give him too much bloody attention. He's actually
not too many times.
Yeah,
no.
He's in the bloody backstage here. He's fucking Maya, Infinite Muir. We've got Not a Great Gamer. Hi, Not a Great Gamer. We've got everybody. Thanks everybody for turning up. Togs here. SS1964. Thank you for turning up as well. The statement I see is, Bible says horses fly. Laugh my ass off.
Where does the Bible say horses fly? Because that's in the Quran.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think it did say Bibles in the Bible. But
okay.
I don't know. I had a long time since I read the Bible, and I ain't going to be arsed with that. This is more interesting because I haven't heard it, and Richard talks about aliens. So, yeah. Let's do this more. So I'm going to let the dog out. You talk to the audience for a minute.
Yes, sir. Happy to. Okay, so here we are talking about the Watchers and their sentencing and how they will die with the planet once more, which I think has actually been said more than once already. And then Enoch's experience of seeing the end of heaven, and he wants to stay there forever and ever. Amen. So I think this is talking again about end times, but I think all but the Watchers would be talking this book, and most of the Bible and all other texts would only be talking about end times. That he's talking about angels descending from heaven and their fall and their sentencing and their destruction, and others who are not in that situation being very, very, very happy. So how's that for a brief synopsis? Let's go to the side chat.
I heard proselytizing. Did someone say forever and ever amen or something? I heard proselytizing.
I did.
Get out.
I did.
Get out.
Get out. Get out. It was an interpretation of what Enoch is feeling in the moment.
Yeah, I heard it all. It's good. It's good. It's good. Right. Go for that.
The Daily Atheist wrote, donkeys talk in the Bible. I actually did a little meme on that, which is on my Twitter account. If you take the Bible as a whole and it talking about a singular topic or related topics and not so distant and weird, if you look at Balaam and what he does, and you look at the she-ass and what she does, and you look at the angel and what he or she does, doesn't say, to me it looks like the beast of Satan rides on the back of the Christ who can see the angel who is there to free the Christ from the beast of Satan. Which is why the ass sees the ass who is lowly and hardworking and always honest and all of those beautiful things, sees the angel first. That would be why. And Balaam does not see the angel at all.
Sorry, I got totally distracted by the side chat and did not listen. Being honest, didn't listen to a thing you said. I come back when you said about the devil. I don't know how you got there from donkeys talking, but Nerdy Rodent wants us to do this with another book. He wants us to do this with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Well, that's another thing I always meant to read and never did. My next eldest brother read it and told me some of the story, so I know some of the story.
Sorry,
I'm not sure this is going to work well with Hitchhiker's Guide. I'm also not sure it's going to work so well with SG-1, or what was that?
Stargate
USG-1?
Yeah, it is. It's the original series is Stargate SG-1, yeah.
Okay.
But it is very similar. You can see, not that it fills in every single blank, because it's a TV show and you've spent 7 years looking for bits and bobs to, that corroborates with your story, proves your story, whichever way you want to look at it. And
trying to disprove it as well.
Yes, no, totally, and we're up for that as well. But it's a show, that's
Brother Math, what's a Vogon?
A Vogon?
Nerdy Rodent wrote, anytime Richard says Satan or anything like that, just think Vogons. What's that mean?
I don't think that's in reference to Stargate SG-1 unless he spelled something incorrectly. Could you spell it phonetically or give me the context, Nerdy? Because Vogon is very familiar in my mind.
Maybe he meant vegans. Maybe he thinks vegetable-eating people are evil.
Do you know Nerdy Rodent is actually a vegetarian?
I did not. Now I do.
Well, there you go. Nerdy Rodent is a vegetarian. But he doesn't tell people. He's not one of them annoying vegetarians.
Right. Sweet. Appreciate that. He's not a guilting vegetarian.
No, they're called vegans.
Right. That's what I thought maybe he meant by Vogons as vegans.
It is. The Vogons is the people in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and all I've done is watch the movie, but they are the people who try and bureaucracy. The government, the world, and they do all that. And
the bureaucrats. The red tape people.
Fucking
right.
Thank you. Fucking bureaucrat. Right, letting the dog back in, and then we will move on. I can hear you, so if you want to read on, I can hear you.
See, it's English. It's a mix between English and Irish. It's English. It's English. It's slightly angry English, apparently. Before him there is no ceasing. He knows. Before the world was created, what the world is, and will be from generation to generation. Thee, thy praise, who do not sleep, they stand before thy glory, and bless and glorify the exalted thee, saying, Holy, 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 the Lord of spirits fills the earth with spirits. And here my eyes saw all those who do not sleep, standing before him and blessing him, and they say, Blessed art thou who... and blessed the name of the Lord to all eternity. And my face was changed until I could see no more. Maybe he meant crying.
Right. Well, right from here to there. So what do you? I missed all of this while I was letting the dog in. Okay.
So I think this is right back to the shift work described in the four beasts around God's throne, that they sleep not day or night. Christians sometimes call them seraphim because they're six-winged. Some call the six-winged cherubim. It gets confusing in the Christian context of the text. But I think would literally be describing the winged, four-faced beast around God's throne. The medium-sized craft is what I think it would be describing here.
Okay.
Anyway, he's really happy. I think he starts crying. His face was changed until he could no more see.
Well, I could say your face was changed until it was no more see because I hit it in the face with a fucking spade.
That would work too. That would also change your face. Not a very gentle way to do it, but okay, it would work, I guess.
Yeah, well, we've already decided these aren't really nice aliens in the first go. You know, they may be God.
Oh my gosh! Why are you saying that?
Because
I think they're being as nice as.
They're an army.
Okay. Is that terribly gentle? No. Is it a necessity? I think yes. But until people become convinced that they're non-violent and that they're going to be nice, they're going to be considerate, they're going to leave people their own decisions based on what they believe is true.
Please.
Until that point, it's going to be a bit forceful, I think.
So they're going to knock on your door and go, "Excuse me, yes, how you having a nice day? Aye. Well, we're here to round you up and kidnap you and take you to our spaceship in the sky, and we want to measure you with a rope. So we were wondering, could you get into our bag peacefully, or should we grab you by the scruff of the neck?"
Could you just get that in the right order? We're here to round you up, whether you like it or not, and take you to one place to be measured to see if you want to go to heaven.
Yeah, well, I was getting to that, all right? You're sounding an awful lot, you're sounding worse than me. I was all pleased and thank you. You're all, we're going to round you bitches up. Yeah. So that's how it's going to be. Knock on the door. "Hi, having a nice day." We're just,
I think to some point some people would be confused, but I think most people would get it, and be like, okay, all right.
Take me away from my family.
I'll just have to deal with this.
Right, well, this is the thing, man, right? From your interpretation that you are then going to be reunited with your family afterwards. And only for a short period of time are you going to be split away from your family. You believe in this, you take it to heart, and you know it to be true. Nobody fucking else in the world does. So even if they came to my door and were nice to me and told me this, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves.
That's well within your rights, but and I don't think they're going to hurt you purposefully.
Oh, they can tell
me
But
I think they're going to take you whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and they'll tell me that they're not going to hurt me, and they're telling me they're all going to be nice and all the rest of it. I'm still going to fight because it's a strange alien at my fucking door.
That's okay, but I think in realistic view, in the moment, it would be like if two cops knocked on your door and told you you're going to court. How much you would fight them?
No, it's not the same because they're fucking aliens in a spaceship. Okay, we're going to...
No, that's what I'm saying. It's worse.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's even worse than that. It would be more scary and you'd be less likely to go, wait a minute, I'm just going to be a crazy person who resists you. I think that's stupid and almost nobody would do it.
Right. I don't know if it may not happen an awful lot in America, but... we have the troubles over here, and it's now become a little bit more civil, but they would turn up, kick your door down, drag you out, and shoot you in your fucking kneecaps, and leave you to be dead. They did.
Oh, okay.
So there's people in this country that have experienced what you're talking about. And I'm telling you now, if somebody who was 8 foot and a human-looking person kicked in a fucking door trying to drag somebody out of Belfast, they're going to think it's the other side. They're going, people in that, it's been experienced.
If you think that's bad, imagine how the Amazonian natives who have never seen civilization are going to feel about it.
Yeah,
they're really going to be freaked out.
Exactly, man. And they're going to be throwing their spears. At least...
and shooting arrows and, whatever they can do, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they probably will think it's God. You'll probably have a higher turn...
I don't know, they try to kill everything that goes there.
Yeah.
Some people have died.
Yeah, but that's definitely true. But if this technologically advanced race turned up and could not be stopped by bows and arrows, which we assume so, then they would assume that these people were God, considering what they would then do to them. So you would probably get a higher turnover of conversion in the underdeveloped countries.
You may be right. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would go, actually. Well, I think we're down to talking about how individuals react to certain situations.
Yeah, but
I could never guess.
Well, we could definitely make the statement that less... Oh, I'm going to be sounding really racist here. Less civilized. What way do you want to work that? Less... yeah, I know. Less developed countries, less developed cultures than what we would have in the Western world would be more religious and have more faith in the supernatural. I think that's a fair statement to make. So we're tangenting again. We haven't even got 5. We've only just finished 5 chapters, and we've been going on.
Well, that's okay. 40 is a nice round number to start next week.
Oh no, well, we've got another half hour to go yet. If you're up for it,
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I'm up for it.
You're up for it.
It's fine.
Right.
Aye.
Give it there.
It's working.
The first 9.
Okay. Okay. And after that, I saw 1,000 times thousands and 10,000s times 10,000s, an innumerable and immense multitude who stood before the glory of the Lord of spirits. Oh, this is the part I was talking about before. I looked, and on the 4 sides of the Lord of the spirits I saw 4 faces, different from those standing. And I learned their names, which the angel who came with me announced as their names to me, and showed me all the secrets. And I heard the voices of those 4 faces as they blessed before the Lord of glory. The first voice blessed the Lord of the spirits to all eternity. And I heard the second voice praising the chosen one and the chosen ones who hang on the Lord of the spirits. And I heard the third voice asking and praying for those who dwell on the earth and petitioning in the name of the Lord of the spirits. And I heard the fourth voice keeping off the Satans and not allowing them to come before the Lord. Wow, that's interesting to me. Of the spirits to accuse those who dwell on the earth. After that, I asked the angel of peace who went with me, who showed me the things that were hidden, and said to him, "Who are these 4 faces that I see, and whose voices I hear and have written them down?" And he said to me, "The first is the holy Michael." I just got chills. Oh boy. Really? Merciful, slow to anger. Yeah, really. I mean, I expected that's what it was going to be, but... and the second, who is over the sickness and over all the wounds of the children of men, is Raphael. And the third, who is over all the powers, is the holy Gabriel. And the fourth, who is over penitence, and the hope of those who inherit everlasting life, is Phanuel.
Right.
And these are the 4 angels of God, the Most High, and the 4 voices I heard in those days.
Yeah. It's already been mentioned that at the very start, that the only person I can't remember is Phanuel. Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, they've all been hanging out from the start of this story.
I think the part that got me is they're the pilots of the beast with the 4 faces.
They're the pilot.
That is the captain of those vessels.
Where did you see pilot of beast with 4 faces?
It's an overall context thing, but yeah.
Where the hell did you see that? I see who are.
Well, it's talking about the 4 faces, which we already know what the 4 faces are.
Yeah, the 4 faces are the 4 men that's doing the stuff that are standing in front of me. I see the.
No. Different faces, not people faces. He just said sees a bunch of people faces and a bunch of angels. Like in the Bible, it says covering the mountains because there's so many of them.
Right. Hold on. Entertain the crowd. I'm going to read this.
Okay.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So in the side chat we have God equals the square root of 1. A very good question. Why do we care about this book? The only reason that I'm trying to do these series at all, which may include Aboriginal Australian, Aboriginal American, which is a horrible label, but I don't know what else to call it, natives to this continent, is to show that all of these stories in a certain framework are all saying the same thing and are not borrowed from each other, but are confirming of each other. And I think that could be important.
Right. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Okay. Thank you, crowd, for entertaining. Richard. Right. Here. And I looked, and on the 4 sides of the Lord of the Spirit I saw 4 faces, different from those standing, because they're angels. That's why they're different, because they're angels.
But it said those before that were angels.
Okay. Looked on the 4 sides and I saw 4 faces different from those standing. The
Right.
reason they're different is because they're angels.
Well, then what's the 10,000s times 10,000s?
Okay, are you picking and choosing? Because at the start of it we read Book of Enoch, and when we read David and Goliath, you said that when they said things like that, that was just to emphasize the fact that there was lots of them. You didn't.
Lots of them, right. Yes. Like it says innumerable here. I'm sticking with innumerable. You can't count them.
Yeah, you're sticking with innumerable, but whenever it said thousands of thousands and thousands before, you said that it was a literary thing to just.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is there's a bunch.
Yes, there's just a bunch. It's not a specific number. There's a bunch.
Who's,
there's 1,000
so who do you think this group is that he's saying is a bunch?
Stood before the glory of the spirits. The people supposedly what I think they're in is people being judged. The humans.
Okay, is that innumerable?
Well, if you had more than 10,000 people standing in front of you, to have 4 faces jump out at you, that would be very difficult, and that's just with a limited number of 10,000. If you've ever been to a music concert, which is less than maybe 10,000, and you tried to find your friend that you've lost, it's very difficult, and you know his face better than anybody else's. And unless he's standing up with a flag and jumping around, or the drunk guy over in the corner,
you probably won't find him.
You probably won't find him. So if these 4 faces have stood out to me, and you have described them as angels being 8 foot, that's how I notice my mate. If my mate was 8 foot, I'd notice my mate.
Okay, so the only problem that I have with that is we are numbered already. And by our perception, and when it uses a reference like some number you can't count, some innumerable 10,000s times 10,000s.
Well, can I just say,
and that I think it's all talking about angels here, that have descended from heaven. So I think that's what it's talking about.
Right. Well, can I just? This is my interpretation.
So we might just disagree.
Well, this is my interpretation of verse 2 to 3. Okay. And I looked on the 4 sides of the Lords of the Spirit, and I saw 4 faces different from those standing. And I learned their names. This is a point. He learned their names here, by the way, which is stupid why he asked at the end, but he already knows their names. And the angel, he announced their names to them. So the angel has told them, and he showed all the secrets. And I heard the voices of these 4 faces as they blessed before the Lord of glory. Okay, so he's noticed the 4 faces. So they must stand out from the crowd. If they're angels, they're 8 foot tall. They're standing out from the crowd. He can hear their voices over this innumerable amount of people, probably shouting and screaming because they're unhappy. So their voices are louder. Again, they're angels. So this is why it's not a shock to me down here. Why you got chills, I'm not sure. It's Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, or whatever his name is, Raphael, or whatever you want to call him. They've been hanging out from the start. It's a
right.
They have.
I can certainly see that view of it.
Okay. So
I think this whole scene is talking about angels descending from heaven, heaven being in the sky, and that the 4 faces that are unusual are the 4 faces that are described of the lion, the calf, the man, and the eagle, and that these are talking about those whose voices he heard through the lion, the calf, the man, and the eagle. That is, they were the ones making the announcements, which is why it could be heard over the entirety of the crowd, because it was amplified voices.
So they're using technology again?
Yeah, I think they use technology all the time for a bunch of stuff.
Except when they're measuring people, they use a rope.
Some things are simple. Don't need much technology.
Okay. That was my interpretation of it. Okay, we're in chapter
works.
41. I'm here to annoy you.
It's not annoying me. I think that you can better represent people you've spoken to than I can. I think that's handy. Let's see. And after this, I saw all the secrets of heaven and the kingdom as it was divided, and how the deeds of men are weighed upon scales. There I saw the dwellings of the chosen and the dwellings of the holy, and my eyes saw there how all the sinners were cast from there, they who had denied the name of the Lord of spirits, and they are dragged away, and there is no rest for them because of the punishment which proceed from the Lord of spirits. And there my eyes, I want to stop right there actually, because the line denied the name of the Lord of spirits. That's literally what the word blasphemy means. To do that. To deny the name of the Lord of spirits is blasphemy. That is to deny God.
Can I say one thing as well, just on that line? Okay? In reference to what you said earlier, that God will use a loophole to get people into heaven. Okay? Because he really wants people to get into heaven. really, really loves us so much he wants us to get into heaven, he's going to use any old loophole to get us into heaven, provided we're not the
Still free
Nephilim.
will choice, though.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but still a free will choice, whatever. But gives us the golden ticket. It's our choice to use it.
Sure.
And he'll use any loophole that he can find, with the exception of lying, which everybody does, to get us into heaven. But if we don't, we are fucked. We don't get no rest because of it's something similar to the Christian God. It's we really, really love you. I just hear what do you call that comedian? Carlton?
Don't
know. Critical Cripple, give me a hand here. He says, I've gone very quiet.
I can hear you just fine.
Carlton. So I think it's not Carlton. It's he really, really loves you. He loves you. He loves you. He loves you. But if you don't, you're going to hell.
Oh, older white guy that did a lot of sarcastic stuff about God in the Bible
and government and a lot of other stuff. Yes, you know the guy I'm talking about. He's just really bad with money.
Carlin.
Yes, Carlin. Yes. That's what I see here. He really, really loves you. He's fantastic. He'll use any excuse he can to get you into heaven. But if you don't, you're fucked.
For me, it's really a straw man when people say that to me specifically, although it's in good keeping an objection to the Christian description of what the truth is. It's a good objection to that.
In the context of this sentence, in reference to what you said earlier, would you agree with where I've come from that? Would you?
No, I won't, and here's why. Even the angels who fall and cause the problems in chapter 6 of the book of Genesis, after their flesh has been destroyed, that is their punishment, that their flesh gets destroyed. Now, that doesn't speak to their spirit and what happens to them after that. And perhaps it's at least plausible to believe within this context that God revisits them and gives them new flesh, and they have again life in heaven.
Just to address something Daily Atheist says in the chat, why would you want to live forever? It gets boring. I think Richard has said before it's something in around 5,000 years, isn't it? You don't think that you live forever?
I cannot speak to that specifically because it's not that defined. Would it be boring to live forever? I think it would be boring to live forever floating on a cloud playing a harp. That would suck. But I don't also think that's what we do. After all, when Adam leaves the Garden of Eden, he gets real work to do. And Eve has lots of babies. And I think both of those things could be really interesting and important, depending on what the work is and depending on who's being birthed. For instance, my mom. If my mom's being birthed, I want to be there for that. That would be pretty cool, I think.
If your mother is being born, you want to be there for that?
Absolutely. Why would I want to miss that?
You would want to be there when your mother is giving birth. Now,
no, when I said when my mother is being born.
Yes, sorry, your grandmother is giving birth to your mother.
No, my that doesn't work. You have to reverse the order for this to work. My sister would be giving birth to my mother, and possibly my grandmother, and possibly my grandmother would then. And mother would be giving birth in turn to their grandparents, etc., etc.
I'm fucking lost, man. What's going on here? I'm lost. I'm lost.
Well, let's just look at virgin birth as artificial insemination. Let's look at the virgin birth as like artificial insemination, and you know what that is.
Yes, but you're saying look at the timeline in reverse.
Yes.
Yes, so they have manipulated you're traveling back.
No. Slow down. You're getting way too high speed, high tech for me. All I'm saying is that I think it is possible to collect genetic material from those who are living and restore physically someone who has passed away.
Right. That makes lots more sense.
That's what I was trying to say in the first place. And then artificial insemination, impregnating a living person with the right genetic code to reproduce literally perfectly my mom, my sister, my grandma, my grandpa, etc.
Just to say, if you are using and going down that route and giving birth as in a baby, then that person is just genetically the same as your mother and will not be your mother. If they took your mother's dead body and her memory and all that there and could, bring that back,
well, I think
that would be your mother.
I think that's the spirit part that's being referred to.
So
is
spirit
all the
is genetics.
experiences and memories being restored to the person.
When they're a baby?
At some age, when they're ready, I guess.
Well, then that's two personalities in one body. That's giving someone a psychosis.
I don't know all the technicals about it.
So
it's just what I can see generally described that somehow it's okay. I don't know how that's okay, but somehow apparently it's okay.
Of course it would be okay. Whenever you wake up again, you've got all your memories and stuff, and you remember getting old and dying, and now you're here in an 18-year-old body and everything's fantastic, so you're going to give the thumbs up. The point I'm trying to make is the person that existed for 18 years before that was a person. Okay, your physical body will agree to it when it wakes up, yes, because that personality is glad to be alive and glad to exist again. It's maybe
I'm not certain at what age they do that. I think that would be very uncomfortable and hard to deal with if you were 18.
Right, if you're 6 and
but it might be really easy if you're 3.
So you're 3 and you've got the memories of...
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's possible. I don't know.
Yeah, but even if you were given the memories of your previous life at 3, when that person hit 50, they are not going to be the same person they were when they were... It's not the same person.
We do continue to change and grow. I mean, absolutely true.
Yeah, but if you wipe a personality, man, I'm just saying, that person exists. That personality exists. This has been done an awful lot in sci-fi, even in lots of different things. And it is...
Yeah, but that's sci-fi. I mean,
this has been studies as well, man. You're giving someone two personalities, and how, depending on how predominantly strong one personality is, the ethics of destroying one is like destroying a person.
Okay, I am not right now, nor have I ever claimed to be a clinical psychologist or a biochemist.
Okay, right.
And I don't know how these things work.
Go and get a pen. Go and get a pen and a piece of paper right now, and write this down. And please discuss it with Shannon Q, because she is, and I may not be there.
Well, I plan to have conversation with her like this. I'm going to let her lead it, not this conversation lead her.
Specifically,
but just
ask
the same.
this question. Ask that question. If there is a personality in a body, how ethical is it to wipe that and replace it with another?
Well, stated like that, it's obviously immoral. I'm just not sure that what you're describing is what happens. I can't say.
You'd need to be at least entering puberty to receive the memories and be able to at least half deal with it. Because...
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think given someone of a younger age memories and experiences of things that their body would not be ready for, and they feel that they've already spent 30 to 50, 100 years doing, you give them memories of an 80-year-old to a 3-year-old, they're probably going to want to fucking, go and get pissed.
I think it's a really interesting thing that you've brought up. And I have no answer for you right now. And I don't even want to postulate a decent guess. Because I think what you're saying is actually very important. But I don't have an answer.
That's the right answer.
I just don't know. I know for me personally... I've had developed, and I have worked to develop a relationship with whom I would call God my Father, to the point that I trust that individual enough that I believe they're going to make it okay. I don't know how.
And that statement...
But there's a lot of things I don't know.
That statement just makes me think, which is... I know it's my brain, but I'm thinking Total Recall. At the end of the movie of Total Recall, that person tried to give Arnie Schwarzenegger, the original by the way, yes, tried to give Arnie Schwarzenegger back his memories. But the person he had then become, by our standards, was more ethical. Even though he trusted that other person and it was his best friend, when he tried to give the memories back, who was that person and had been that person his entire life, he fought back. Because he had a different...
Like I said, I think you bring up a good point, and I don't have an answer.
Yeah, well, that's a roundup, and I appreciate the fact that you said you don't have an answer. That's at least true.
I just don't see that spelled out in the text, and I don't even see enough information about it to even maybe postulate some extrapolation that might be accurate. I don't know how to do that.
But you got to the point where your mother's memories were being put back into a new body. You extrapolated that.
Yeah, that much I can see in the story.
Okay.
How exactly that's done or how it's okay, I have no idea.
Okay, right. Well,
Okay.
that was only 4 lines. Fuck me. This Book of Enoch is going to take forever. On a personal note, on a channel note as well, the 18th of this month, we have Lawrence from Milwaukee Atheists coming on. If you're not already subscribed, give them a wee look. Richard, I would suggest that you go and look. They are actually reading the Book of Enoch as well every single Sunday. And the guy who we're getting on, Lawrence, he is in school at the minute, learning the history of the Bible and all that sort of stuff. And,
Oh, boy.
where it all comes from. They have a series on their channel that goes through the books of the New Testament and, you know, what the scholars say. If I was going to do it an appeal to authority, as much as I love Digital Hammurabi, if it came to something specific about the history of the Bible, more so than the language, I would appeal to authority to Lawrence. He is very, very intelligent, very, very smart.
Yeah, Dr. Josh is a linguist. That's a fact.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you were to look at the history of it and where it came from, like I watched a video the other day, he covered like 100 years of the Christians, how they came about. There were so many different councils held. The Council of Nicaea was just the first one. There were so many. The 4th century has like 7 fucking councils on what should go in and out of the Bible. There's a whole history of the battles and stuff. He's very, very inept, very, very good. Definitely check him out, Richard. Give you a bit of heads up. You can watch a few of his videos. And if there's an after party, I would definitely agree or encourage you to come on that night. Make a bit of time and come on. Cause,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, when it comes to where things come from, not the words, but the actual books and how the Bible came to be the Bible, this is your man to talk to. Plus, as a side note, he's obsessed with pirates. He knows a load of history about pirates. So, yeah.
Actual pirates, not movie pirates.
Yes, not movie pirates. Actual pirates.
Right on. Right on. Should be an interesting dude. Okay. Where are we at here? We're at 41, I suppose. And after this, I saw all the secrets of heaven and the kingdoms as it is divided, and how the deeds of men are weighed upon... I just read this. Or is it repeating? There I saw the dwellings of the chosen, the dwellings of the holy... Where did we stop at?
You read like 4 lines.
It's just repeating, isn't it?
No, we only read 4 lines or 5 lines. That was it. We only read like this wee bit. No, we haven't read chapter 41.
No, we haven't. We shouldn't have read any of... It's repeating is what it is.
Yeah.
Secrets of the kingdom of the divided, and how the deeds of men are weighed upon scales. There I saw the dwellings of the chosen and the dwellings of the holy, and my eyes saw there how all the sinners were cast from there, and they who had denied the name of the Lord of spirits. That's right, I stopped right there voluntarily. And they are damaged, or they are dragged and away, and there is no rest for them because of the punishments which proceeded from the Lord of the spirits. And there my eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and of thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds and of the dew. And there I saw also from what place they had proceeded, and from whence they satisfy the dust of the earth. And there I saw the closed repositories, and from them the winds are divided out, and the repository of hail, and the repository of fog, and of the clouds. And his cloud hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. And I saw the repositories of the sun and of the moon, from whence they came, and to which they return, and their glorious return. And how one is more glorious than the other in course, and their fixed course, and how they do not leave their course, and how they add nothing to the course and take nothing from it, and preserve their fidelity with one with the other, remaining... if we can advance it a little bit, please.
Oh, sorry, I was a wee bit behind you.
Fidelity one with the other, remaining steadfast in their oath. And first the sun goes out and makes his way according to the command of the Lord of the spirits, and strong is his name to all eternity. And after this, the hidden and the revealed course of the moon, completing the course of her way in that place by day and by night, one looking at the other, before the Lord of the spirits, and they give thanks and praise and do not rest, for their thanksgiving is rest for them. For the shining sun makes many changes, for a blessing and for a curse. And the course of the path of the moon is light to the just, and darkness to the sinners in the name of the Lord, who created between and darkness, and divided spirits of men, and strengthened the spirits of the just in the name of his own justice. For neither does an angel hinder, nor any.
I don't know what happened there. I went to highlight.
I don't know.
I was going to highlight what was easiest, make it easier for you to read, and it just went. Oh.
My mouse has twitches like that too. It's okay.
What the fuck? Right. Sorry.
And all the judges, them all before him. Wisdom did not find place where she might live, and a dwelling place was given to her in the heavens. I'd like to stop right there just because I think the importance of that line. Mm-hmm. That wisdom is reserved for heaven, I think is a highly important line. Which is not to say we have no wisdom here whatsoever, but I think is more to say that if we compare what we have now to what we will have, what we have is probably minuscule. Wisdom came down to dwell upon the children of men and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place and took seat among the angels. And injustice came forth from repository, whom it did not seek, them it found, and dwelt with them, like the rain in the desert, and like the dew in the thirsty land. Okay.
Well,
wow, I really think this is getting a little bit repetitive, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's starting to do that and do my brain in. So we'll read to the end of this, and that'll probably be the end of the night's episode anyway.
All right, roger that. Whom did not find place where she might dwell, and find a dwelling place given to the heavens. Wisdom came to dwell among the children from the man, found no dwelling. Just kidding. Wisdom did not find place where she might live, and a dwelling place was given to her in the heavens. Wisdom came to dwell among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place, and took her seat among the angels. And injustice came from its repository, whom it did not seek, them it found, and dwelt with them, like the rain in the desert, and dew in the thirsty land. And again I saw lightning, and the stars of heaven, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they heard him. And I saw that they were weighed in the scales of justice according to their light, according to the width of their places, and the day of their appearance, and their course. One flash of lightning produced another, and their course according to the number of angels, and their fidelity they preserved among themselves. And I asked the angel who went with me, who showed me what was secret, what are these? And he said to me, the Lord of the spirits has shown thee a picture of them. These are the names of the just, who dwell on the earth, and believe on the name of the Lord of the spirits to all eternity.
Yeah, we'll just.
I think that's a good place to stop. Yeah.
So not only are they getting the rope out, but they're getting weighed as well. Scales has been mentioned at least twice.
Yes.
I can see that you can see that as a metaphor of their morality, perhaps, but scales has been mentioned twice. And if you're going to give scales a metaphor, you might as well give rope a metaphor and say it's fucking technology and not a rope.
I'm not going to argue it. I'm done arguing that. Okay. I find it very interesting that I think that if it's true that electricity can be caused by air movements, currents against each other, and that can produce lightning, that if you had 29 moon and planet-sized objects pushing into this atmosphere simultaneously or in any given order, that could displace, a lot of air, cause a lot of air movement.
You couldn't bring a planet-sized object close to this planet without really, we're going into gravity again, man, with messing it up. When you say moon-sized object, you're talking our moon, you're talking Jupiter's moon. So, moon is a term, not a size.
You're right. I meant our moon.
Right. Well, no. Well, our moon, where it is now, affects. It's called tidal gravity, I do believe. And you're going to bring 23 of them.
29.
29.
Those are the small ones. The small ones, 24 moon count.
No, I think we're going to have to go mothership at least a couple of miles away. Like, look where the moon is in relative to us. I don't think you're picturing this in your head. You're looking at you're looking at what a picture is. You're not actually visualizing what it really is. It's fucking huge, the distance between the Earth and the moon. And gravity is affecting our waves. And you're going to bring 29 of them. You're going to we're going to have earthquakes, man. Okay? You're not going to be able to walk around.
I'm not certain what technology they have to balance it out and make it not kill us. I'm not sure.
Well, they're going to
it's supposed to not kill us. So.
Well, that means that they're going to have to reduce their mass to zero, or
No, it doesn't.
For gravity to not, gravity is directly affected by mass. If they're going to have to get rid, if you can get rid of your mass, or make your mass negligible, then you don't have any gravity. That's how gravity works.
That you're making future technology fit our knowledge. I'm not sure that's a good idea.
No. It's not our knowledge. Mass is directly affected by mass. Mass and gravity are tied together. That is a fact. I will make that statement and say that is a fact.
That's not what I mean. It's not what I mean. You're still requiring their technology meet our level of technology and understanding of how things work right now.
I'm not saying anything about technology. I'm just saying for whatever way that they make it happen, what they will have to do to make gravity disappear is to make mass negligible. Whatever technology...
And I don't know that they can or can't, or that that's what's needed. I don't know that.
Well,
Could be.
For you to get rid of gravity, you would have to make mass negligible. That's a thing of... That's physics.
I don't know. There's theories about anti-gravity.
Yes, but
I'm not saying we've accomplished that.
But whatever... I'm just saying that mass and gravity are tied together. That is a law of nature. That is like saying the speed of light doesn't... It's one of those things.
But I'm also not describing an unintelligent, massive chunk of land like the moon crashing into the Earth. I'm not describing that.
Yeah, no. I will agree with you that they may have the technology to not fuck the Earth up due to their gravity. For them to
either that or we're dead.
Yeah. So for them to do that, they would have to make the mass of the ships negligible.
Or something that would have the same effect. I don't know.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying it's one of those laws of nature, man. Laws of nature. Right. Have we got any questions from the chat? Okay, fucking critical cripples all. Another dimension of magic. That's his other... I was going to say... Yeah, see, critical always wants to start a row at the end. Do you want to start another row, critical? We'll start a fucking, how do we get rid of gravity debate? Everybody, I really appreciate you all turning up. I really do. I don't know if we'll come back. Might not come back. I might game for a wee while on my other channel if we don't come back here. It's in the description. It's MathPig 2. If you look for it, you'll find it. I don't know. I got Tekken 6. I might go and get my ass kicked on level 5 again. That could be fun. But, yeah. So, other than that, we can get rid of this. Then I can get rid of this.
Does that mean I'm back at my normal weight, or does that mean I'm still chubby?
Oh, no. It means that I have to do this. And then, that. There you go. You're back at your normal weight. Although I did forget to make a scene for when we get rid of the yes, I made a scene for the Enoch book, but then I forgot to make a scene for when we get rid of the Enoch book. I'll have to fix that. I'll have to make this, but in Enoch form. Right, everybody, thank you very much for turning up. And Sunday, who do I have Sunday? I have Spartan Theology on Sunday. I have no idea who they are. One Way, thanks for turning up, man. You probably know Spartan better than me. I don't know who this guy is. He had a debate on the Converse Contenders channel the other day. I have to watch it yet. But he's been turning up. He's regular enough, joined the Discord, and seems like a decent person. So, yeah, more Christians the better. And we'll talk to you all later. Bye.